Good morning, Year 2. I hope you all had a lovely weekend and welcome to this morning's English lesson. So the first thing I would like you to do is to write today's date and skill into your catch-up book. So the date is Monday the 25th of January 2021 and your skill is to identify features of a non-chronological report. So you can pause the video and have a go at that now. Well done. Right, your starter for today then. You need to correct the spelling mistakes with your green pen, or if you've got a different colour pencil at home, it doesn't matter if it's not green or pen, you can have a go at doing that. So you can copy this into your book and correct the mistakes in a different coloured pencil. Well done. So hopefully you spotted wanted is spelt wrong. It should have our ed suffix at the end. C is the homophone, isn't it? So it's the wrong homophone. It should be E with two E's. One of our tricky words, could, should have been spelt C-O-U-L-D. Well done if you got that. You can give that first sentence a tick. Again, shouted should have had an ED at the end, not just a D. U, one of our tricky words, spelt wrong as well, so it should be Y-O-U. Could hear me. We don't need two E's in me, do we? In Folkestone, I shouted so loud you could hear me in Folkestone. So give yourself a tick if you got those ones correct. I helped my friend get into the school. So helped, although it sounds like a t at the end, it's actually the ed suffix. One of our tricky words, friend, should have had an I in there, F-R-I-E-N-D. And our tricky word, school, should be the S-C-H-O-O-L. So well done if you got that. You can give yourself a big tick as well. Right, this week we are going to be creating our own non-chronological reports about an animal that bounces. So I'd like you to have a think. You can pause the video. What do you think a non-chronological report might be? So pause the video and have a think. So a non-chronological report is a piece of writing that informs the reader about a subject without following a set order. So we've done a lot of work on chronological order and making sure that it's in the right order. But this report will be in a non-chronological order. So that means it doesn't have to be in a set order. So well done if you spotted that word chronological in the non-chronological report and you figured that one out. Good job. Okay. There are some examples of non-chronological reports under this video on the website as a PDF. And you can have a look at these. There's some fact files, some are information leaflets, and some are magazine articles. And you can just have a look at the features. So have a read through them, and if you're with somebody you can discuss what you liked about them and what you didn't like about each non-chronological report, and of course what you could have done to improve it, and you could even think about which report is your favourite and why. If you're not with anyone you can just have a go at looking through them on your own. I will put some pictures on the next few slides so you don't have to keep flicking back between the video and the PDF. But they're not very clear, so you won't be able to read through them necessarily. So it still might be worth going back to the PDF if you can. So I'll flick through the slides and you can pause the video to have a look, or you can just fast forward if you've printed out or if you're able to look at the PDFs separately. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to have a bit of a discussion about all or some of those non-chronological reports. So I'd like you to tell me, or just say out loud or tell your partner if you're with your partner, which features could you see in the fact files? So these are the ones I spotted. I spotted labels, full sentences, facts, so key information, pictures, lists, paragraphs, subheadings, and titles. So well done if you said any of those things when you were looking through your reports. Good job. So I'd like you to think about which of these features were your favourite then. Which did you, when you were looking through your reports, think, oh, I really like that it's got the labels on that diagram so I can understand it, or I really liked their use of subheadings. So just pause the video and have a think, which of these features that I've just shown you on the video did you really like when you were looking through your examples. So you can pause the video and have a think. Okay, and now I'd like you to just do the same thing but with the features that you maybe didn't like or you think could have been done in a better way. So maybe, for example, if one non-chronological report used subheadings really well, in a different one you might think actually that could have been a little bit better. So you can pause the video and have a little think now. Well done. So, did you spot all of these features when you looked through the examples? If not, you can have another look now. You can pause the video and go back to see if you can spot them. And also I'd like you to think, did you see all of these features in every single report? Or did some of them not have all of them, or did most of them have all of them? So you can pause the video and flick back to the examples and just see which ones you can spot, which of these features you can spot. Okay, good job. So if you are not 100% sure still of what any of these mean, we are just going to quickly talk through them. Now, most of these we have done since September, so you should all know what they mean. There's only a few that we haven't touched on. One of those is the labels. So labels are used to tell you a little bit more about a picture, or a diagram. So if it's got a picture of the animal that it's describing or of the event that it's just talking about, it might have a picture with some labels on, which are just short key bits of information, sometimes with a line drawn to the part of the body, for example, of the animal that it's talking about. So full sentences, we've talked so much about full sentences. Full sentences, of course, are a sentence that makes sense. So it's got a capital letter at the beginning, a full stop at the end. It's not just key bullet points. It is a full sentence full of information. So facts as well. This is factual information, so it's true information about a subject. So depending on which report you're reading, that might change. But that is what will make up your full sentences, isn't it? Because that is what these reports are talking to you about. Pictures, of course, you know what pictures are. Lists, so they might have numbers down the side or bullet points. We have talked about lists before, so you should all be quite familiar with that one. But it's just another way of highlighting information to make it stand out slightly from the paragraphs, which is the next one. So paragraphs are the chunks of writing that often have subheadings, and then the paragraph underneath the subheading tells you about what the subheading has said. So it might be where the animal lives, and then the paragraph underneath it is all about where the animals live, or you might move on to what they eat. And finally, the title, of course, the big bold title we talk about in school is normally at the top of the page, or it's normally bigger than the rest of the writing, so it stands out and it tells you what that report is going to be about. Okay, so well done if you knew all of those already. Right, your task then today is to order the features of a fact file into your book. So you can either cut them out of the PDF under this video, or you can just write them in. There's not too many to write, so that should be quite easy for most of you. And then you need to order the features from most important to the least important in your opinion. So if you think actually subheadings are the most important thing because when I'm reading my report it tells me immediately what that section is going to be about, and pictures are the least important because the writing tells me everything, I don't need the pictures. I'm not saying that's true, it's just an example. So you'd put subheadings at the top of your list and pictures at the bottom of your list, and you can reorder all of the other ones in between. So once you have decided on your order, you will start to write it into your book. And I would like you to write an example of that feature next to it or on the line underneath it, either your own example that you've come up with, or one that you've seen in the examples that we've looked at today. So for example, if you wanted to write facts, you write my write facts, and then next to it or on the line underneath it, Miss Bulford's hair is brown. So that would be an example of a fact. But equally, you might have seen in the report about sharks. Sharks live in the ocean, so that would be another example of a fact. So you can just refer to them, or you can come up with your own. It's entirely up to you. So that is your task for today. So I'll just talk you through your must, should, could and might, and then you can pause the video, get on with your task, and then we'll come back to do our plenary. So you must order the features from most important to least important to create a list of features for a non-chronological report. You should give an example of each feature in the list from the example texts. You could create your own example of each feature and write that into your book. You might explain why you think the top feature is the most important in a sentence underneath your list. So that's your challenge for today. If you've completed all of the features and you've given an example for each at the bottom, I'd like you to explain why that feature, whichever feature you put at the top of your list, is the most important in your opinion. Okay, so you can pause the video. On the website there is a PDF with this image on of all the features if you need to remember them, or you can pause the video now and look at this list on here. Once you've finished, you can come back and we will do our plenary. Okay, good luck, off you go. Well done, guys. Right, your plenary for this lesson then. My favourite example is the panda fact file, although I've put the shark one up there, so I think that's supposed to say the shark fact file, because I think it includes most of the features. So it is the shark fact file that I'm talking about. There's a small picture up on the screen for you to have a look at. Do you agree with me, or do you disagree? And why do you agree or disagree? So you don't need to write anything into your book for this. You can just have a little chat about it and see what you think. Okay, well done, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm really excited about this topic. It's something that we really enjoyed when we've done this before, and I hope you guys will too. So have a lovely rest of your day, and I will speak to you later. Bye.